and welcome back to my channel. So if you can tell, my section has kind of dwindled back there, mainly because they are up here and I will be counting down my top 10 Riordan verse books. Sorry for those of you who are like, wait, isn't that the entire Magnus Chase back there? You don't like Magnus Chase? Sorry guys, Magnus Chase just wasn't what I really got into. I liked it, but it doesn't have a place in my top 10. So let's just get into this, and yeah. So at number 10, I have Blood of Olympus. I thought this was a pretty bad ending for the Heroes of Olympus series, just because in House of Hades, Rick was like, Hazel and Frank have all these cool powers, and here's some budding relationships here and there, and they're trying to find, and you see all this, everything. And then, like, I feel like in Blood of Olympus, anything that happened in House of Hades, except for, like, a few things, literally was just, like, looked over. Oh, Frank and Hazel were pretty big in House of Hades, better put the original trio back in here. Here's the thing, I didn't care for Piper, Jason, or Leo. I didn't care for Piper up until about Mark of Athena, and I didn't care for Jason until in the House of Hades, and I still don't care for Leo. I know that's gonna, like, a lot of people are gonna be like, but he's Leo, but I hate him. I think he's annoying, and I just, yeah, he hides his humor behind, like, he hides his backstory behind his humor, but at the same time, I don't find love for him. He's not a favorite character, and I don't think I'll ever think of him as a favorite character ever, because I don't enjoy him, I don't like him, and I do not care for him. But back into it, honestly, I feel like literally so much was overlooked in Blood of Olympus, and if Rick, like, was like, okay, well, in House of Hades, all these things happened, let's incorporate some of that into Blood of Olympus, but he didn't really, and it was just basically Piper, Leo, and Jason throughout the whole story, and I don't care for Piper, Leo, or Jason. Well, I mean, I cared for them, especially Piper and Jason at this point, but it wasn't something where I want to see them on every single page. Plus, overall, I think it wasn't that greatly done for an ending book. I think Leo should have truly died in the end, and I don't think that Calypso and Cleo really should, well, like, Cleo in general shouldn't really exist in this world. I feel like at the end the gods would have finally gotten Calypso off the island, instead of having Leo dying and going through time to find her again and bring her back. Like, I think Calypso's and Leo's relationship is a very, very forced thing that Rick did, and I don't care for them, and I feel like, honestly, this is turning into a rant about why Cleo shouldn't exist, but, like, I don't think that they're main players, and I don't think at this point in time where we are at with the Trials of Apollo that they actually still need to be in this story. And yeah, so going in at number 9, we have Battle of the Labyrinth. This is basically my favorite, one of my favorite scenes is in this book. Percy crashing his own funeral. What better way to come back from seeing Calypso on her island? I'm not even going to try and pronounce her island because I'm pretty sure I'm going to pronounce it wrong. So, but anyway, plus we have the first Annabeth and Percy kiss in this book too, and I feel like we're also starting to see the real terror of what Cronus could do in the last Olympian. And yeah, coming in at number 8 would be Titan's Curse. We get introduced to Nika, we get introduced to the Hunters. Talia, we get to see more about her in the Titan's Curse, and she's truly finally back, and you get to see what she's like as a person. And honestly, there's so many great, like, little battle scenes, like when I went to DC and we were in the Smithsonian, I was like, oh, so this is, so I felt like after that I could actually, like, see the scene in the Smithsonian because of that, and I feel like I got more connected to that scene in the Smithsonian because I already enjoyed seeing them like basically raise like tiny little saber-toothed kitten skeleton things that are just running all over the place. Plus then you have battle with the Nemean lion and the whole rocket ship thing, and I think that was pretty cool. Coming in at number 7, we have the Red Pyramid. When Rick announced he was writing books about like ancient Egypt and their mythology, I was like, hell yeah! Because I want to become an Egyptologist when I graduate college. Like, once I'm done getting my bachelor's right now, I will go into Egyptology for sure, and then basically end up with a PhD, which is like 16 more years of college. But because it's about ancient Egypt, I could probably do 16 years of learning because of that. And that's one of the main reasons why like I love the King Chronicles, is because you have ancient Egypt in there, and that is something I know, and yeah. I mainly like it because of Egypt. But coming in at number 6, we have The Last Olympian. I like how this kind of like wrapped the series up in a neat tiny little bow with the option of going into Heroes of Olympus, or he could have tossed out a bunch of new characters that you get to learn about, like 7 entire new characters for the Prophecy of the Seven Sent that would get set in some odd years down the line. Maybe he could have gone either way with that, honestly, and I feel like he went with it nicely actually going into Heroes of Olympus 2. But also, I feel like, unlike Blood of Olympus, this wrapped everything up in a nice, tiny little bow with the options of going into something. Plus, I mean, it's the final battle between Kronos, and I feel like the way he ended it with Kronos and Luke basically, like, I am the only one who knows where this place is, I'm the only one who can kill him, I feel like was just a very nice and touching ending to the story. And coming in at number 5, we have The Hidden Oracle. I loved seeing the OG characters again. So in Magnus Chase, I was like, okay, are we gonna get like Percy in here again? And then Percy didn't show up, and then Percy showed up in here, and I was like, yes, finally, Percy Jackson is back. But at the same time, I'm also like, Rick, just give Percy a break. Like, he's been through some shit, and just, I feel like he needs a break. But at the same time, I enjoyed seeing him. Enjoyed seeing some of the OG characters from the Percy Jackson series that we got to see in this book too. Yeah. Coming in at number 4 would be House of Hades. I love this book because it was like, finally, once again, Frank and Hazel have their time to shine. And he gives them a few upgrades, which, as I mentioned, he basically ignores that they happen in Blood of Olympus. And it's like, okay. Didn't much care for Leo going to Calypso's Island, though. Look back at Blood of Olympus about why. And overall, I just enjoyed reading this book. And we gotta finally see, like, what are these doors of death? Are they, like, something that can be closed by one person from the inside? And I feel like it cleaned up a lot about what was happening with that whole Prophecy of the Seven, but not yet completing the whole quest for the Prophecy of the Seven. Coming in at number 3, we have The Burning Maze. Even though this book truly killed me, because once House of Hades happened, I was like, oh hell yeah, Jason's actually a pretty good character, and I like him. Going into Blood of Olympus, I enjoyed Jason even more, and then he kills him. I was starting to really enjoy Jason. I was like, oh hell yeah, I want to see more friendship between him and Hazel then, because, you know, she's the one who taught him how to draw for the monuments for the gods, and then you kill him. And that's one thing I have. But I feel like it's a death that needs to happen, because I also feel like it's gonna show the 7. Also, like, Jason's dead, which means one of the 7's dead, which means even though the 7 are truly known, like, are probably some of the most powerful demigods in this whole world, it also shows them you can still be killed. And I feel like that's something that's going to come up a lot in the last 2 books. Like, even though you're really powerful demigods, and you will and can still be killed pretty murderously. Overall, I really enjoyed this. I want to see what happens with that little broken prophecy that we got at the end. Like, I want to see the full version of it. And overall, I was really actually pumped for this book, because I was like, when Rick first announced it, he was like, oh yeah, Romans are going to be in here. And I was like, oh yes, Camp Jupiter. And then, no, I gotta wait another 1.5 years for Camp Jupiter. And it's pretty hard to wait for like a 1.5 years for them. It's been forever. But going into number 2, the Mark of Athena. Once again, even though there's something that I really honestly hated that happened in here, Percy and Annabeth may or may not have fallen, but I just enjoyed seeing the 7 just kind of like hang out a lot and just chill, but yet at the same time be like, hey, we're on a warpath and we've got to fight a lot of things. And I overall really enjoyed this, just because I would like to see more of those little tiny scenes, like scenes that may or may not have happened between the time gap between Mark of Athena and the House of Hades, where the 7, or at least what's left of the 7 that aren't falling right now, were like chilling around on the Argo too. I mean, I know that they probably weren't chilling, but like, you know, those little tiny sweet moments, and I feel like we got a lot of them in Mark of Athena. And my number 1 book would have to be The Son of Neptune. I enjoyed Frank and Hazel right off the bat, and then you add in Percy Jackson, who is probably one of my top favorite characters in the Raritan Verse series. Oh yes, and what is better? They're going on a quest, and you get to see Percy after not hearing from him for months. He wasn't in The Lost Hero, and I feel like this book was just pretty amazing, just for the fact that I got so many favorite characters, and just basically Frank, Hazel, and Percy trekking around, going up to Alaska and being like, oh god, gotta take this tiny boat. And I think it was just very well done for re-entering Percy's life. So thank you guys for sticking with me while I counted down my top 10 favorite Raritanverse books. Sorry if yours didn't make the list, but I don't really care for some books. Magnus Chase back there, Lost Hero back there. But at the same time, if you want me to do another video like this, just toss down a series into the comments. I have probably read it, but I'll comment onto that comment if I haven't, and then I'll probably go read it, because I have like 20 more days of winter break. So if you even want to see some other random video of me do about my books and what my favorites are from different series, toss that down in the comments too. Toss down if you want to see top 10 characters. Just honestly give me suggestions, because I'm kind of running out and I have nearly 20 some odd days left of break, and I am sitting around my house bored. So toss something down to the comments, hit that subscribe button if you want, hit the notification button if you want, and I will see you later, and Happy New Year once again, guys, even though it is not New Year's Day anymore. So yeah, see you guys later, and Kara is out.